Hello world, and welcome to the Grand PSU TPK versus Law and Order set for CCA Season 6, Week 4. I'm Wallace, and I'm here co-hosting with my great friend Nova. If you want to go introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Hypnova. I'm gonna be co-commentating with Wallace here today. So this is PSU Total Party Kill versus Law and Order. This was, I believe, a rescheduled match from week 4. Should be getting started shortly, but maybe, yeah. So while we're waiting for them to finish up here, we're going to be starting off with tower control on Hagglefish. So, Wallace, what do you think would be a good? What would you expect to weapons that would come out here?
TC Hagglefish is typically a very long-range favorite map, so I expect to see at least one backline on each side here. I know TPK Kev loves his V-jets. We'll be seeing that for sure. And of course, you have tower control cheese. You know, your Booyah bombs and tri-strikes.
He gets very passionate every time. If you tell him, oh, I like custom jet, he will rapidly approach your location just to tell you you're wrong.
I must say, a C-jet may be a better choice here, because I feel like the rain might be nicer cleaning the tower. Whereas vacuum, I don't see how I could really push in with that on tower control.
Yeah. Well, looking at who TK has in right now, we are probably going to see that jet, or honestly, if Kev pulls out his range blaster, that might honestly be that may be a better pick, just because having that blaster on the tower. I mean, you probably end up being the tower rider more than me personally, because you tend to play longer range weapons than I do. You probably know just how annoying blasters are when you're trying to sit on the tower scoring points. And then a range blaster just comes out of nowhere and just goes, nuh-uh.
Another thing to mention is that Aritza is in for this map, and Aritza one-tricks I think it's a crack-on splat roller.
Crack-on roller, yeah.
This is a very long map as well, so the squid might be giving TBK a lot of mileage here. And also, cracking cheese and tower. It's not very good in higher ranks. In these lower ranks, it may be what wins in the game here.
I am not going to be happy if I see someone trying to cheese the tower. I'm not gonna lie. It is very easy just to knock them off the tower, so every time I see someone do that, I'm like, why are you doing that? There are better uses for the Kraken. But, maybe that's just me. As for... Personally, I'm not super familiar with comps that Mon Order runs, outside of Clam Blitz, but we'll get to something they like to do on Clam Blitz later. Looks like we're getting started here with our first set. Let's see.
Let's see the weapons.
So we have, there's a blaster and a tri-slosher. That's something I almost forgot to mention.
Okay.
Is Tri-Nouveau can be pretty strong on this map mode.
So, up here we have Rapid Deco, a Forge Pro, V-Roller, and Tri on one team.
The V-Roller is interesting. I usually Ritza plays the crack-on roller.
Double custom rollers. Each team has a custom roller. Vanilla roller, my bad.
Yeah. We have the vanilla one, and then we have the white one. The pay-to-win one. Anyway, looks like TPK trying to go for a push. They go 2 down though, so that's gonna end it there. Kraken coming out. Yep, I called it with the CRB.
And they're just strikes in the tower to clean it.
Oh, looks like 2 down on Mon Order. TPK should try to push up here, instead trying to go for killing the Splattershot Pro, which, I mean, it's always funny.
He takes behind on my end. Stream is not loading.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Yeah. So
Alrighty.
It's push. TPK's push got down there, although they're gonna try and Never mind. Oh,
Ooh, that's a wipeout. That is huge for TPK.
That is huge. They're gonna be able to take a lot of space here. As long as the tower doesn't get killed by Roller, which they do, and TPK goes 3 down, I guess.
Oof. The first push, that is pretty good.
That's a decent first push, although that wipeout's going to set TPK back a bit.
How much Lamont will be able to capitalize off this huge win. They're not really capitalizing that.
The strikes are gonna slow them down here. As they go 2 down. Oh, it's just the pro! Yeah, that push is gonna end right there.
A big thing that you need to learn to comp is that when your number's up, you need to push in and take space. Law and Order had TDK wiped, and they didn't push out that far past mid.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that on both sides. TPK going for another push here. The Blaster and the Blaster T-Tech combo putting pressure on their Blaster. Just trying to pay for strikes, looks like.
And then the Forge Pro is very much trying to keep TDK off the tower. You see a Kraken come out, and there's also a Booyah Bomb. That's going to prevent TDK from getting on the tower, or they stay on it.
Yeah, they end up losing that push there. Oh, never mind.
It's a
Numbers
pick.
even. Numbers even right now with 2 down on both sides. The little spit of windbagging from the Tri-Slosher, they got stuck.
Probably unintentional on their part, but it's funny when it happens.
Let's see. Roller. They're both teams have been fairly even most of this game. There was that one instance where PPK was able to get up onto their plat, but they ended up losing it pretty quickly. But besides that, for the most part, they've been fairly even. And just how it's been neutral most of the game. I say that as it goes 3 down on the side of TPK. They might lose this checkpoint here, especially with the bubble and 3 of them being on the tower there. That is going to be a lead flip.
Usually you don't want to have your whole team on the tower.
And that's a
but
wipeout.
In this case, seems like it's working. And everything jumps in. TPK's need to get something together because this last checkpoint is part of the whole.
If they want to take this tower, back. Although
TPK is down to just bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap goes down. That might be it, unless bubble goes out.
Yeah, and that's that. Law and Order wins the first set decisively.
That is a knockout. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that's kind of the thing with this map sometimes is it's almost like once you manage to get past those first couple checkpoints, it can be fairly easy to knock out if the other team isn't able to get the picks needed to shut down that push. Especially past that 3rd checkpoint. If you're in a numbers disadvantage, you're kinda cooked. And I mean we kind of saw that there. Both teams were pretty even the whole game, staying in neutral, not able to get that far up into their base, but then as soon as Mon Order was able to take that opportunity, that's what was the decisive move that gave them the ability to keep pushing past that first checkpoint. Which, that's usually the hardest one to break through that or the second one.
And the big bubbles on the tower very much help them get through the last 2 checkpoints.
Oh, definitely.
Aside from the wiper, TPK is lacking in object damage. They have a lot of trouble running bubbles in future tower control maps.
Right. So while they're subbing in, we're gonna head on into Rainmaker on Museum, Delfoncino. This map has a big pit in the middle, and it's great. I love it. No sarcasm there at all. Yeah. And I
guess another thing to mention here is another long-range favorite map, but I don't think we'll be seeing that many backlines here. Might see at the V-Jet from Kevin, but I doubt we'll be seeing any sort of like E-leaders or chargers from the Modern Order.
I personally think this is one of, if not the best maps for Crab Tank. Like, I mean, you probably know this, but like every time we run, like, when we try to run comms here on this map, I normally do like putting you on the crab edit.
You know,
because of how strong Crab is here.
Crab Tank is huge on spinners.
That and, like, long-range Splatlings as well.
What? I know TBK does not play any crab weapons though. The longest range they play is V-Jet.
It's not a necessity, but if the other team does have a crab tank, they may have some trouble unless they're able to keep it shut down, or if they're able to.
Well, I don't think we're seeing any backlines from Modern Order. Yeah, Modern Order has. I think it's credits. As you said, crab very good here.
Yeah.
Crab edits.
Yep, that's the crab edit. And we are seeing back on the crack on the roller, and Kev going back to his favorite weapon, the vanilla jet squelcher.
And Modern Order has dabbled with special power up. That's kind of the wrong mode for that. You want your special power in zones.
Well, I mean, if anything, they were able to get the pop there. They're all kind of crowded around on that right side, though. And despite getting that pop, it looks like they're playing pretty passively, just kind of letting TPK take mid here. I say that as soon as one on TPK goes down.
TPK grabbed the fish.
And as soon as they grab the Rainmaker, they go 3 down. It's just Jolt's here in a 2v1. He is not Cassonic, so unfortunately is unable to get picks with the Rainmaker. And
TPK, but Jolt does have enough time for TPK to run in and neutralize the situation.
Yeah, they were able to, at the very least, slow down Mon Order while they get their bearings back together.
Slider which is instantly punished by TPK.
2 down on the side, 2 down on the side of Mon Order. Rainmaker going to the left.
There's an ink back online from TPK. That's a huge in this push here.
Yeah, Inkback is good on when pushing on Rainmaker, although it looks like what's left is the vac. Oh, and despite the wipeout, still able to get that pick with the vac. Kev hit the shot. TPK coming back pretty quickly to slow down this push.
It's the beacons.
Beacon cheese. Oh, and it's just the crab on the side of Mon Order getting swarmed by TPK. There were at least 3 people on them. That crab was cooked.
A big issue I see here for Mon Order is that TPK is beacons. So once they die, they're back in fairly quick. Whereas Mon Order needs walking all the way from spawn.
I think that kind of falls under Mon Order playing a little too passively. Because, I mean, we saw in the beginning, they were, despite them getting popped, they were all kind of around their plat area. Ritza getting a double there, although unfortunately TPK going to wipe out.
Remember, TPK has beacons. They'll be back in a second. See? They're already in mid.
Beacon dub. One going down to the Booyah Bomb, while Jolts and on the Wiper getting a triple. Get the quad. Ah, his quad got stolen.
A big issue that Mon Order is seeing is that when you're playing against a beacon comp, you need to be more aggressive. You need to take down those beacons. Because all the beacons are up, you're playing at a massive disadvantage. Because the enemy team is more free to just die and take riskier fights. Whereas you can't take those same fights because you don't have beacons. You can't get back as fast.
They do have cooler though.
They do.
If they're able to utilize that cooler, then that wouldn't be as much of an issue. It looks like TPK trying to push here. All that's left is the hammer though, trying to go after this edit. Good thing hammer got buffed, otherwise Jolts might have been cooked there.
Ooh, there's a DC.
And there's a DC.
Side.
Unfortunately, it is past the 3-minute mark. It is past the 3-minute mark, so They're gonna have to keep playing with a 1-point lead, though. I have a feeling that it's going to flip. Yep.
Yep, there goes the lead.
That is a very unfortunate DC, and they're running it. They're running it. No one's stopping them, and they just straight up knocked it out.
Right. The
TPK
DC was huge here for Law and Order.
TPK, even despite the DC, TPK were all distracted, just letting the Rainmaker slip by as it ran basically from mid all the way to the goal there. That is a very unfortunate. That was definitely an unfortunate DC. But also, like, even being one down, normally, like, this is why, like, Rainmaker especially, knowing, like, where the objective is so important, because if... I think Jay actually did this in Blue Set. Was it last week?
Yeah, last week. PSU Blue
on the same
versus...
map mode, actually.
versus UCSD Gold, I think it was?
No, it was USF Gold.
USF Gold.
Basically, going around, just slipping through with the Rainmaker and just knocking it out, despite the rest of the team basically being pushed into their base. Like, on Rainmaker especially, like, keeping an eye on where everyone is, where the Rainmaker is. It's so important for that reason, because I think if TPK, if they had someone there to kind of cover that, maybe they could have held out a little longer.
Yeah, Rainmaker is a mode you do not want to leave the fish unattended, because then you have shenanigans like that, like sneaking in, grabbing the fish and running.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't as egregious as Jay's, like, flank from last week, but I think my point still stands. Anyway, Clam Blitz on Mako Mart. So,
this is a map where it is very easy to just run the clams down the middle and into the baskets. And from what I've been told,
foreshadowing is a literary device that
Law and Order loves to run Ink Brush on Clam Blitz. So we're already seeing some Ink Brush solo queue warrior strats, grabbing the clams and running up to the basket and dunking them.
Oh yeah, and it's so funny how that normally works in solo queue. Typically, you can't get away with it as much in comp, but I mean, lower divisions, anything goes. As long as it works, I guess.
I'd be willing to wager we're going to be seeing some Clam Blitz cheese here with the good old-fashioned Ink Brush.
Yeah. No, this map specifically is very strong for Tri-Slosher. No, I think we saw Tri-Slosher on the side of Mon Order last game. I would expect them to play it again, just because, like, standing on those stacks with a Tri-Slosher, it's a really strong position, because, like, Buckets are probably the one weapon that love their fall-off damage. Like, just sloshing over ledges can be really effective. Personally, as a T-Tech main, I like to roll bombs on those stacks as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if I saw, like, Bubble Wrap pulling out their tech here. No Tri-Slosher!
Cover rolls from Mon Order.
Interesting.
Ooh, and TDK has the brush. This is a reverse of what I thought would happen.
That is the opposite of what we were expecting here.
A Dreadringer from Mon Order is an interesting choice. This is a very strong bucket map.
They could be attempting some kind of slider cheese, although out of all four modes, this is probably the last mode you'd want to do slider cheese. That or tower control.
I mean, look where Jolts is gathering clams. 3 more, and he might be able to score here.
TPK getting an early 2 down. Jolts.
Ooh, and Jolts runs up to the basket.
Missing it despite being directly below it. I'm going to make fun of him for that later.
The TPK does score 2 power clams here. It takes a nice lead.
They do, although they're
immediately
able to get shut down. Yeah, unfortunately, it's like Mon Order going to be able to try and counter-push.
But it seems like maybe a dead push from Mon Order here. Is it Whipper TPK secured surroundings of their baskets?
Yeah, they weren't able to get quite enough to secure a lead there, allowing TPK to try and regain mid, although it looks like Ritza, the Kraken Roller, going down to the Dreadringer.
Yes, something I will say here is that Mon Order has a lot more map control than TPK here. And TPK's comp does not have a whole lot of aggression in it. They're depending on those strikes and the killer whale of the brush for their aggression. Whereas Mon Order has 4 aggressive specials.
Mon Order's comp is fairly paint dependent though, with the Carbon and the Luna not being able to paint very much. So, but I guess with the combination of the Splattershot Pro and the Dreadringer, that gives them more than TPK, who also don't have a ton of paint.
We're getting closer to scoring again here.
The side of TPK, they're going to lose the lead here. Vac coming out, although unfortunately Vac can't suck up clams. Unfortunately, the Vac will not stop people from scoring clans because you cannot suck up the clans.
Mon Order's down to just the pro. TPK needs to push in here and take some space.
Yeah. Although unfortunately, like you said, the lack of paint might start to become an issue, as that gives Mon Order an easier time to push up there.
In a comp where you're lacking paints, the Ink Storm of Seajet is very nice.
Kev is rapidly approaching your location.
Oh, it's true. Because
I'll let you fight him about that later. I'll just watch while Kev strangles you for daring to say that C-Jet is better.
I'm not saying it's better in general. I'm just saying in this situation with a low paint comp, having the extra paint in the Storm is helpful.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. Looks like Mon Order, after a while being in neutral, they missed the ball while trying to push again.
Yeah, but
they tried getting it back, but the roller, I believe, went down for it.
Well, when the ball is thrown up there, it's really hard to get it back. You might as well pretend it's a dead ball.
How do I aim my ball? I do not play football. I do not know how aim ball.
I guess a little fun fact is that the little nub next to the basket shows you the optimal place to throw the ball from. To prevent little misses
and I will still somehow find a way to miss it.
Ooh, TPK has a ball, but they're running the wrong way. In Clan Blitz, once you have a ball, the other team starts to get their special charging automatically. It's a whole one for the ball, not moving up.
I mean, they probably shouldn't have just fully pushed up right away because they didn't have the numbers. But they probably did not need to back up as much as they did. Mon Order going in for another push, getting run over by a slider and a wipeout. This is not good for TPK. They are not going to have time
maybe able to wipe out here. Mon Order has enough clams. Question is, can they score? Ooh, TPK manages to neutralize just in time.
Up the
and they sneak in another clam.
Are going down. Looks like TPK is just able to shut down that push. 3 down on the side of Mon Order. TPK is going to have one chance to retake the lead here. It's not going to be easy going from 60 down to essentially a knockout.
Again, a big issue here is that TPK is lacking in the paint department. Mon Order swim circles around them here.
They're also just not pushing up when they have numbers advantage as well. I mean, that could go for both sides to an extent. Yeah, so okay, now we're in overtime here. Ritza going for a flank.
But there's a
punished for it, unfortunately.
And TPK has not enough time to push up. They're close to the baskets, but not quite.
Barely running out of time there. That is an unfortunate way to lose that game.
0-3, Mon Order in the lead.
Yeah, we're gonna be heading into a match point here.
Ooh, the next match.
I'm surprised they didn't pull out the Tri-Slosher again. But
the next match we have is Splat Zones at Brine Water Springs.
Oh my God,
this is a strikes cheese map.
It's also a leader map.
Or given, based on the concept we've seen from the Mon Order, I don't think we're going to be seeing any leaders in this game.
You're probably right there. Although you never know. We thought they were gonna pull out a brush and they didn't, so um, you never know.
More famous for a claim with brush, but no brush.
It was TPK who had the brush.
Never seen Jolts playing
Although
on brush.
it might have honestly been better there for Jolts to have stuck with the wiper, if anything, for that extra paint, because just because like they had a Luna and a Carbon. Those are those are weapons that rely on their teammates a lot for paint. So if CPK was able to outpaint them, then they probably would have had an easier time. But unfortunately, they kept getting shut down by Mon Order. Anyway.
Again, I have heard that they are playing all 7. So even if Mon Order wins here, TPK is still going to be playing this match. So we still have 4 more matches to go through.
However, this is match point. So so I mean, here at PSU, we would like to see the TPK reverse sweep.
No, it would be very funny.
It would be funny. But yeah, if Mon Order is able to win this, then it will just go straight into play all. But yeah, so I have a feeling you would want Kev on C-Jet here. He's not going to play it.
The Inkstorm is huge here for capping this small zone. But again, Kev hates C-Jets.
#1 C-Jet hater.
And also, like, again, the mist is very nice in this map for controlling the small choke points around the zone. Like, you throw it behind the block in the zone, you can't move anywhere there.
Right. And I mean, also, like you said earlier, strikes cheese. Normally, you can't strikes cheese the zone, but, like, I have had personal experience where I will strike the zone and it'll just flip.
Again, very small zone. And the Inkstorm from C-Jet is huge here.
We have gold aerosprays on both sides, and the custom Explo. Kev trying to become like PSU Vapor, I see. With the Explo, Kev is lagging a little bit. Like TPK able to get the zone to start off. One down on the side of Mon Order.
The question is, will TPK be able to capitalize on this?
They're gonna attempt the spider cheese. Although the two strikes able to counteract that slider there. They are going to lose the zone. However, if they're able to regroup, they might. They do have an Explo.
Indeed, TPK, as he knows, is playing the crack on roller. It may better have the mini roller here, because this is a small map. You don't really need the beacons as much.
That is fair. But yeah, TPK able to keep Mon Order from fully locking them out. I think trying to get hits here. That strike is going to go right up to a jump.
They do.
Gets 2. Bubble wrap, get the triple.
That's a white out for TPK. They need to push up quick and take space.
Insane triple by bubble wrap. They definitely need to use that in order to gain space. However, the Dreadbringer opting to stand on grates, therefore making Kev powerless. 3 down on the side of TPK. That's going to lose them the zone.
Yeah, good news of Explosher is you cannot hit anyone on grates. It is possible, but very, very hard.
Yeah. You'd have to basically hit direct shots, which Explo, as far as I'm aware at least, is better at like chip damage versus hitting just direct shots, which is very hard to do, like you said. TPK able to reclaim the zone here. Booyah Bomb coming out from Mon Order.
And TK is throwing tons of bombs in specials into Mon Order's base.
And then they go 2 down. Mon Order, using the opportunity to push back in, Splashdown, and Booyah Bomb. coming out.
Ooh, so
Looks like the
Explo
Explo jumps out. Yeah, Mon Order should use this time to try and push up, especially now that they're one down, or numbers even. Spider coming out.
again,
That's the
this is
shot's
Slider
not in
with
the best
no
place.
special power. So that read is not that big here.
The splashdown was forced out. Strikes coming out.
TPM caps his own here.
Yeah, they're able to cap the zone. Unfortunately, they may not be able to keep it. It's a little unclear.
Let's jump from Mon Order.
Oh, the splashdown getting two.
Splashdown gets two.
Numbers even in the wipeout. Able to cap the zone here, take space. Beacons, of
TPK
course.
setting up beacons inside Mon Order's base.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
And the roller is doing work here.
The Expo goes down. It looks like they were but it looks like Mon Order was able to flank behind them and able to cap the zone and wiping out total party kill.
That is huge for Mon Order here. As TPK is pushed back into their base.
TPK must have missed someone dropping on what would be their right side.
Well, two TPK have dropped though. They're pushing in the zone. But
although they are able to get punished as the other team was able to.
Bubble up has strikes. I see some more zones cheese here.
Yep, they're gonna pop the strikes on the zone. Be able to cap it. Able to find one. Goes down though. Gets squished by Ritza.
You don't see that every day.
I love seeing crushes.
Out comes the Kraken.
Cancel the jump.
Camp the jump.
Yeah. We love seeing Kraken camps.
Needs to push up here. They only have 25 seconds on the clock to keep it to hold the zone.
You're gonna have to hold it for a while and hope that and keep Mon Order, from using Booyah Bombs or it looks like it's just the Booyah Bomb.
It's just the Booyah Bomb.
And they're able to go down. TPK might be able to take the lead here if they're able to hold the zone for just a little longer.
Looks like the TPK wins.
Down instead of TPK. They're able to hold it for just a little longer.
Oh, that is a devastating loss for TPK.
They were 1 away and then they went 3 down with only the Expo standing. That was a very... that is a very unfortunate loss.
That match went down the wire. But Mon Order manages to win the set 4-0 against PSU total party kill.
Yeah, that last game especially was really close. Going down to the wire, literally, with Mon Order getting the 3 down that they needed in order to retake the zone from at the last second.
Again, C-Jet would have saved PSU TPK the match.
I mean, I think the Explo could have worked.
Actually, no.
I think it was working.
It was. They're given. Again. How should I phrase this? Actually, I have no complaints about the custom Explo. I retract my prior statement. I guess the point I have is...
He has learned from his mistakes.
Instead of
do not diss the Explo. Although you have Vapor coming rapidly approaching your location.
No, I retract my statement. The mistake on TBK's part was the crack-on roller instead of the V-roller here. Because, again, very small map, and Kraken takes away your main weapon. You cannot paint the zone while you're in Kraken, at least not well.
Kraken's good at getting picks, I'd say, though. I mean, we did see that pick on the dump in. I think also just on the side of Mon Order, like they were just able to, they were able to coordinate their specials better. They were able to, take. They had better zone control. Like they seemingly had an easier time, finding those picks and keeping the zone when they had it. Versus with TPK, every time they tried pushing up, they always seemed to go 2 or 3 down, or wiping.
Though,
which
we are now on
just
the tower control ship
which
shape,
just gave Mon Order a bunch of free points.
which is another long-range favored map.
Right, tower
I
control
don't
ship
see any more
shape.
long-range weapons from Mon Order here. They seem to love their short-range, aggressive compositions.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with hyper-aggression. This map especially is one where, you know, you have to... If you lose that first checkpoint, the first checkpoint's usually fairly easy to get if you have the numbers advantage for it. But once the second checkpoint's really where it bottlenecks, because the other team can shoot at you from basically every direction, and it's kind of hard for you to fire back because the other team has high ground for the most part. And then it quite literally goes through a bottleneck after that checkpoint as it passes through the bridge that's right outside of the enemy's spawn.
Because I wager we may see either range blaster here again. And this is also
we will see the range blaster here.
It's also a very long and large map. So the
I
beacons
kind of
may
want
be vital here for TBK.
I want to see if either team are able to get past that second checkpoint, and if so, able to get a knockout. Because of how
Ooh, there's the
hard it is
crab
to get
edit
to
again.
that choke point. No, I think that's the V edit. No, that is the crab edit. I stand
You
corrected.
can tell as the crab edit is shiny. The V edit is not.
Oh. Don't think I noticed that. Looks like same comp that TBK ran on the last tower control map. With the exception of the Aerospray. And Mon Order's comp looking more like what they ran on Rainmaker. TBK able to get an early lead here, although they are going to go 2 down. They're going to try and keep the tower here. The roller goes down on Mon Order. Power-Up able to break the checkpoint. Despite losing the tower, getting through those checkpoints is
TBK's a Booyah Bomb.
Pretty big.
And that will hold the tower up for a few seconds.
Booyah Bomb slowing them down.
Is throwing the cooler on top of the tower instead of in front of us. In tower control, you want to throw the cooler in front of the tower, so the tower runs over the cooler and resets the timer on your cooler.
I personally kind of disagree with that strategy because depending on how the tower moves, you might lose your cooler before everyone is able to get to it.
That is why you call
out
your
cooler
usage, though.
In which case, then your team doesn't get the cooler, and you now have no cooler, even though, yes, you can start farming for one right away, you still have to farm for that cooler instead of just having one already.
Again, this is comp. You can tell your teammates when you're close to a cooler, so they get ready to grab the cooler before it gets run over.
While you're pushing, though, because, like, if you're pushing and your team is like really far ahead of you, that cooler's not going to be much helpful if it's destroyed.
Ooh, and Mon Order has a nice crab tank in middle. That's getting 2 picks there. Ooh, it's just down to the Aerospray for TBK.
Yeah, 2 down. The Aeroslay going for a flank, although they get picked off by the edit here. There's a lot of fighting in mid, despite the tower being in TPK's spawn, essentially. That's giving Mon Order essentially a free checkpoint, as
the checkpoint 2 is huge here for TBK.
Yeah, as the range blaster was the only one seemingly defending the tower for a while there, which basically was just giving Mon Order free points.
Again, range blaster is not great object damage. It can knock for a bubble in a timely manner.
It is good for getting people off the tower, though, when there is no bubble.
But when you have a bubble on the tower, range blaster can't do much of anything.
But when there's no bubble, it's probably better than playing the
Mon Order had a nice bubble on the tower. That's how they're able to stay on that tower despite the range blaster shooting at them.
But it's either that or Kef's V-Jet, which also has bad object damage, so the Blaster's probably the better pick. PPK opting to try and push again. 2 down on the side of Mon Order, trying to get a third. Having some trouble here. Okay, there. The Shot Pro goes down. We have Bomb on the tower. TPK able to get some points here. Wavebreaker coming out from... I just realized that's a V-range, vanilla range blaster, not a BRB. The Roller somehow not killing him on the first hit there. Roller finding 3, going down to the Blaster, who's the last one left. With the
the TPK does spawn in time, so that there's no wipeout message in. Mon Order is just saying is not pushing up.
That was a delayed wipe on the side of TPK there. They are starting to run a little low on time as Mon Order is pushing into their base again.
And the range rush is
getting rushed down by a roller, trying to up the Roller off. They were rolling at each other.
Ooh, and that Mon Order has a big bubbler. There's a nice tower cheese.
They're jumping in despite being in base.
And there's a big ball in the tower.
I need to stop making fun of them. Oh, 3 down on the side of TPK.
Oh, and the Aerospray's running out into mid instead of defending the last
Aerospray's trying to farm for a Booyah Bomb. Meanwhile, Mon Order is knocking out.
Oh, they get the Booyah Bomb right as the game ends. Look at that over mid.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They should have probably stayed in base to do the Booyah Bomb farming.
When the tower is right next to the I guess endpoint, you need to be there to try and clean the tower with your main weapon. You don't have time to farm a Booyah Bomb.
Well, it's possible they were able to. They could have farmed a Booyah Bomb, but actually, this is probably partly why Frontlines run come back. Because then as soon as you spawn in, you can get like a lot of special charge if you just paint in your base on just empty ground, or if there's any stray enemy paint. That's usually, like, if you're respawning, that's usually probably the better way to farm for special. At least personally, because, I mean, I attempt to use GG strikes. I fail it 90% of the time.
Yes, another thing to mention is that we saw the Aero Slay here. Aero Spray does not have a fast kill time. If it feels deceptively powerful, is the fast shot speed. But no.
Not trust. Jolts will go like 20-2 this next game. Aero Slay dub.
With Aero Slay, you more wanna avoid getting killed and paint the ground. You're not going in for picks. If you want to go in for picks, you play shots.
It's called the Aero Slay. You have to get picks with it because Aero Slay, teehee.
Yeah, maybe if you're in C-. This is not C-.
Joke's on you, I'm in D-. I'm so bad at my own rank.
Never even knew D- was a thing.
It is now. My source is that I made it up.
Oh jeez. My sources trust me, bro.
Yeah, trust me, bro. I'm always right. Except when I'm not, then I'm joking. Unless you agree with me, then I'm right. Anyway. Rainmaker Undertow. This is game 6. I lost count. Yeah, game 6. Yeah. So, I personally like playing Tri-Slosher on this map because you can go on the wall and just slosh on both sides, and it's funny. And I would at least hope that both teams try to push the left, aka better way.
Mon Order has a hyper-aggressive comp here, similar to what we saw like a few games back.
There's a Tri-Slosher.
And the Dapples. Ooh, special power-up on the Dapples. You don't want to run special power-up and Reslider outside of zones.
If memory serves correct, it looks like Mon Order is running the same, or at least a very similar comp to what they ran on Mako Clams. Meanwhile, TBK opting to stick with the same comp they used the last game.
It's the same comp, except they have Dapples instead of the Carbon Roller, which will give them even more paint.
Right, they had
because Dapples can actually paint pretty well.
Dapple's trying to rush down the Jet, going down to the Arrow Sleigh.
And Arrow Spray is just
Streamer probably hates us right now for saying Arrow Sleigh, Lamau. Booyah Bomb coming out. Looks like they were able to stop that push up the blaster.
Two down.
So Mon Order was caught out alone.
Question is, will TBK be able to capitalize off this? Where's the Ultra Stamper?
Oh, the roller getting a pick on the hammer.
That's huge.
That was
for
insane.
TBK. Or in the vacuum, leading the charge into Mon Order's first checkpoints. TBK taking an early lead here.
They are going to go 2 down, so it's... Oh, 3
Question is,
down.
can TBK hold until their teammates get back in?
It's the Arrow Spray here, opting to jump out. Probably the best they could have made there.
TBK are all back in their base.
Keep your Booyah Bomb to slow down this push. Looks like they're counter Booyah Bombing. How dare you throw a Booyah Bomb at me? I'm gonna throw one right back at you. Strikes coming out. Mon Order attempting to continue this push. The shot going for a flank, able to find one, goes down immediately after. Then 3 down the side of TPK. Why are you going right?
Went to the right checkpoint.
Why are you going right?
You usually don't want to go that way because pushing up that slick there is very hard without like an ink fact on your side. And the ink fact's on TBK's side. But
unfortunately, the vacuum cannot stop the Rainmaker.
That's a huge lead for Mon Order. TBK's need to push hard in order to get a lead like that.
Why are you going that way? You go the other way.
Well, it worked out in this time because Mon Order is up 32 to 60.
That doesn't
now
mean
TBK has the
Rainmaker,
and they're making some solid progress in the Mon Order base. But now it's just the Rainmaker and the T-Tech. Those strikes may help TBK to push in yet.
Yeah, although it looks like they're getting caught in a Booyah Bomb. Are going down. That's a trade. Left is the Aerospray, who's all the way back in their base, getting chased down by the Dapples. Able to pick them off, though, as basically their whole team looks like was jumping to them there.
But again, where are TBK's beacons? This is a beacon map, very large, plenty of nice beacon spots. But where are TBK's beacons? I haven't seen them jump a single beacon all game.
There are no beacons in Bossing Say.
There's one beacon.
There's a beacon.
Back mid.
I say that and immediately, oh, there's a beacon. Jumping in, immediately going down to the Tri-Slosher.
The Mon Order pushing the usual way for this map.
Yep, now they're pushing the good way, PM. Maybe they just thought it would be an easier checkpoint.
Ooh, and the Booyah Bomb takes out the Rainmaker.
That's the thing with going to the right, like the checkpoint is technically easier to get to, but then pushing past that is so difficult because you have that slick there. Like, that's why usually it's better to just go to the left.
Mon Order grabbed the Rainmaker.
Dapple's accidentally
but it's around all sides of TBK and it killed. It's just Tri-Slosher. TBK needs to push in and take space here.
Yeah, it looked like Mon Order was trying to force that push there, but unfortunately they all went down as a result. Although given that they have a pretty decent lead here, although the fish getting rushed down by the Tri-Slosher, able to protect them. Oh, the Blaster!
The Luna Blaster sneaks in, finds a pick.
And that's 3 down on TPK.
Here. So Mon Order has a huge advantage here.
Mon Order opting to push here. Trying to get some points. 3 of them go down. TPK going to have they have one chance to get this Rainmaker basically to the other side.
Having the Aerosol pick it up here may not be the best choice. Because TPK needs a lot of paint here.
Oh, and then they go down. If they're gonna need to be fast on this pop, but it looks like they might not be able to as only the shot was up. And that's gonna be game 6 going to Mon Order.
Alrighty. And then we have the last set on Clam Blitz at Umami Ruins. I know you, you love Umami Ruins.
I mean, besides Law and Order going to the right that one time, which I am still giving them side-eye for, trust me, I'm totally giving side-eye. You can totally see my face cam. They were, you know, they've been able to win their fights, I'd say. That's what it, at least that's what it seems like, is they're able to win their fights against TPK more consistently, leading to them getting better pushes in. Despite a lot of the games tending to be neutral for like most of it. I don't know. What are your thoughts from last game?
My main thoughts are very much. How should I put this? Again, Law and Order was just winning more fights over TBK. Because without that wiper, TBK is lacking a lot of slaying power. The weapons are all.
Nah, the aerospray got it.
Because you can say that, but really, the only like fighting weapon they have is the splatter shot. Is the roller plays more supportively.
Right. You're basically saying that they need more aggression.
I think TBK may need a bit more aggression because they're leaning hard on that shot for their aggression. And Aeroslay, yeah, you joke about it all you want, but at the end of the day, Aeroslay is not a good slayer.
Average Aeroslay dub.
Again, Aerospray, great at building up specials, not so great at pushing in and
maybe they should pull
fighting.
a Big Swig. Pull a PSU Arctan. Bring out the biggest Swigus.
The question is, will TBK bring out the brush again? Will Law finally bring out the brush and live up to our expectations?
Right. Game 7, Umami Clams. Personally, this might be one of the weakest, like just thinking, this might be one of the weakest maps for brush cheesing it. Just because there is one way to get to the basket, and it's through a narrow hallway. And there aren't really a lot of good ways to kind of get around the other team when they're kind of in mid. It's like no matter which direction you're coming from, you can kind of see it coming. Unless you're somehow able to like shark around them with Ninja Squid.
Well, this is very much a C-Jet map. I think this is very much a C-Jet map because you could shut down that little choke point into the basket.
Kev is really going to go after you for how often you say you should play C-Jet here.
Well, look, sometimes you just gotta play the other kits. I don't like Reflux Deco, but I play it on zones because of zones cheese.
Well, this is Clam Blitz.
Well, there's VS.
Oh, they have dualies coming out for the crab. And TPK opting for the same comp that they've been using for the last few games. Probably figure, hey, it's play all, why not just practice weapons that we want to? Because these games don't count. Let's see. Like, both teams getting a lot of clams to start off with. Law and Order already getting a clam, although they are going 2 down. Pretty quick Booyah Bomb coming out there. Roller going down. Up this edit getting pincered, somehow still alive. I don't know how
it's the lack of killing power on TBK's part, and that they only have that shot for offensive pressure.
The edit couldn't aim Lamau. What is aim? I don't know.
In the jet here.
They have a vac. Looks like TPK trying to make
score big here.
They're able to make a push, although they're going to go 3 down. The last being the Aerospray. The roller jumps in, although it looks like they're both going to go down there.
It would seem that I did give the shot enough time to get back in the mid.
Right, although you can't entirely rely on the shot. They probably should have tried to back up and take mid while also, like, get jumps in, you know.
Ooh, yeah.
Mon Order trying to
pushing
go
up
for a
under
counter
TPK's
push,
baskets.
pulling out
But
the
they don't have any
hammer.
clams. They have power clam now. It's a bit
They
too
have
late.
they have clams. It looks like they just lost a bunch.
Yep.
Oh, they go 3 down.
They get in. Yes, Mon Order gets it in the basket. I'm not gonna get any more clams here.
Yeah, Mon Order forced to back up as they ran out of clams and went numbers down, giving TPK time to regroup and try to take mid back
Mon
here.
Order has a crab tank.
They do have a crab tank. TPK has a vac, and they're 2 down.
There's a Boo Bomb from TPK.
Booyah Bomb coming out on the side of TPK, taking out the Luna. Ritza going in for the kill, unable to find them.
In their base.
And
Again, without turf, the roller cannot move and gets taken out.
Yeah, TPK going 2 down.
It's just a jet now, and out comes the grab tank. That's me
Mon
putting
Order.
pressure on TPK. Mon Order needs to push in here and capitalize and score. But
And I think that is exactly what they're doing because they have a hammer going after the vac because vac.
Yep. And then there's Mon Order.
Handle hammer.
And they're going to score a lot
they're going to
here.
take the lead here. However, probably not. They may not be able to sustain it. Question
The
mark?
basket's going to close.
Yeah, basket closed. Although they may have an opportunity to get enough clans here to try and do another push. Yeah, Dooley's almost having enough for a ball here.
Ooh.
Having a ball. Actually.
TPK has a ball.
TPK also they have 2 balls. They must have picked up.
I think they may have run
Those
pity.
must be those must be their pity clams. We have bomb coming out. TPK needs to take back mid and therefore control of the Bam economy if they want to have a chance of retaking the lead here, because they don't have that big of a lead. If they're able to get these 2 power clams in, plus some extra, they'd be in a pretty good spot. They just need to be able to get out of their base and retake mid, but it looks like Mon Order is not going to let that happen. They go 2 down, but they are able to get 2 power clams in.
Again, this here is why I'm not a big of a fan of the ink back when you were lacking aggression. Because Kev just walked an ink back there and not stop the push.
Yeah, TPK just struggling to retake mid here. That's the thing about Umami is that sometimes if you're not able to get out of like a lockout situation, you'll be in trouble because it can be very difficult to
Mon Order another power
push
plant.
back in.
Hope here it's not another push. But TPK's up 1 now.
Yeah,
Pushes
2 down on the side of Mon Order. Looks they are trying to take mid back here. Unfortunately, they are going to go down. That jump being saved barely by Mon Order's edit. Yeah, going back into neutral here, TPK, now I'm looking at the clock that I totally didn't forget was there.
No, TPK has a pity clan. They will have some kind of
TPK will have,
but they don't have the
chance
turf to move in.
Yeah, they just have to make it to the basket, which they're seemingly struggling with. Trying to use a back here to get in. Unfortunately, they're going to go down. That's 2 down on both sides.
Ooh, Joel's manages the school.
Joel's able to get
TPK. They don't have the clans to keep the train going.
Although TPK all goes
TPK.
down. That is a dead push, and therefore... Oh.
And that is the end of the set.
Yeah.
7-0
7-0
Order.
to Mon Order. That was a pretty good set. I mean, yeah, given I mean, yes, Mon Order did win every game, but I mean, TPK did not make it easy. They had the lead at different points. That Brine Order game, they almost won in overtime. I think, yeah, like you said, I think they needed more paint. They needed more aggression. They needed to push up when they had numbers advantage. You know, and like, just because you lose every game doesn't mean that they weren't like close games, you know, because some of those games were I'd say almost. Actually, memory serves correct. Most of them were fairly close.
Oh, they were very close.
At the very least, they were neutral for most of it, and then it would be like, oh, one push gives Mon Order the lead, or something like that.
Yes, a lot of it is just that TBK lacked the ability to recover after Mon Order's push. Again, they lack the paint and they lack the aggression. Very defensive comps.
Yeah, and especially
not
with
much else.
and especially with games like Brine Water, where they're 1 point away, and what was it, Museum, where they had the lead, and probably could have kept it if they didn't have that DC happen near the end of it. But yeah, congrats to Mon Order for their win. And TPK, you guys did pretty well. That'll... Yeah. Alright. Yeah, so... That'll be it for our set tonight. Both teams played pretty well. Shameless plug time.
Oh boy.
So... If you want to... I don't have anything there yet, but if you ever want to keep in touch with me, see what I'm doing, you can find me on Blue Sky at Hypnova SPL, because I had to put Splatoon in there somehow. Smiles.
I live under a rock, so it's very hard to find me. If you go to Penn State Splatoon Club, you could probably find me. I'm there at every meeting.
I wish I lived under a rock. Yeah.
Yes, Penn State Splatoon Club, link in the description. You can go check us out. Very cool place. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
The best Splatoon club, for real.
I would know, because I go there.